Keldrian the Unhinged felt the displeasure of the dark gods like a thick cloud in his mind. The pressure was intense and forced the mage to writhe on the ground in a futile attempt to escape it. He imagined that he heard the voice of the Changer of Ways berating him for failing to capture and sacrifice the dwarf priest as he promised. Keldrian screamed and pleaded for mercy. His cries were so loud that the entire camp was roused by them. Argus of the Moors entered his master's tent and shook Keldrian awake. "Master, what troubles you?" he asked. Keldrian came awake with a wild look of madness in his eyes. "The gods have spoken to me, Argus. We have been found wanting." A concerned look fell upon Argus. He was well acquainted with the fates of those that the gods found to be unworthy of their blessings. "How can we show our worthiness, master?" Keldrian thought about it for a moment. "There is only one sacrifice worthy of the gods, Argus, and that is blood. I have heard tale of beastmen roaming these lands. We shall find these so-called true children of chaos, and we shall offer their blood to the gods. It is our best hope to appease the wrath of the four brothers." Argus nodded. "I shall prepare the camp to move, master." "Not yet," Keldrian interrupted. "First, we must fashion an altar to the gods, so that our victims will know in whose name their doom comes." So pretty simple battle line scenario here. The only things that's going on is the Beastmen, due to their last loss, are at -1 leadership across the board, which could potentially be painful. And I have a mission to attempt to earn the Lore of Tzeentch that I failed to earn last time. The hill that I've set up right in front is a Temple of Skulls. I have to get my general to that point, Keldrian, and pray. And if I survive the prayer on the Temple of Skulls, then I will have unlocked the Lore of Tzeentch. If not, then Keldrian dies and potentially dies permanently in the campaign. So I did bring a very unusual list here to portray the warriors trying for the gods' favor. So let's go ahead and get into deployment and you'll see how it's laid out. Alright, on the Beastmen side, we first have a unit of, looks like 20 Bestigors with full command. Hanging out with them is Brejik, the level 2 Beastman mage to the wild, and his named character. Then we've got a 30-man unit of Gors with additional hand weapon. With them is his BSB. Then we have a unit of 3 Minotaurs with, I believe, additional hand weapon and full command, and 5 Ungor Raiders with a champion. And here's my entire army. I have my 15 Chaos Warriors of Khorne with additional hand weapon. They have the Banner of Rage. With them is Argus of the Moors, my BSB. Then I have a 5-man unit of Chosen of Tzeentch with a champion. Another 5-man unit of Chosen of Tzeentch with a champion. And I have my general, Keldrian the Unhinged, my level 2 Lore of Metal, on the back of the War Altar. So I'm hoping for Demon Princes. I don't get them to start off, but I do get a +1 weapon skill and +1 to ward saves on the 2 units. And so I go first. I want some time to put that altar to work and hopefully crap out me some Demon Princes. So I just move up slightly to clear some space for Keldrian to get up onto the hill and pray at some point. But I know I have nothing really to deal with or to worry about for shooting, so I don't need to do much. I get a couple other buffs, no Demon Princes yet, so we go into the Beastman's turn. They end up coming forward pretty hard. The Bestigors are sort of sneaking behind the Gore Herd. The Gore Herd's going to loop around that green statue in the middle, which is an altar of Gork. And the Minotaurs move right up to the wall. The Ungor Raiders don't need to move to get shots off, so they're going to stand there and shoot me. So during his turn, he gets nothing off of worth, so I actually decide to back up a little bit. I want him to come out from behind that wall and maybe bring the gore around before I can get him. And I have Final Transmutation, so I failed to get it off the first turn. I want a chance to get it off, and particularly with him being at -1 leadership across the board, I might be able to make him stupid. So I back up a little bit and move Keldrian on the hill, so start of turn 3, he'll be able to pray and unlock Lore of Tzeentch for me. So during magic, I get final transmutation off on the gore herd and kill, looks like 7 or 8 of them, and make the whole, basically his whole army stupid there. So hopefully that'll work out for me. I also managed to get another buff up from the War Altar, and I'm putting the unit that's there on the left. Basically, the champion of that unit is the equivalent of a character right now. He's got 4 attacks at strength 6, or 5, strength 5, weapon skill 7, and 4 up parry save, 4 up, 5 up, I think is what his ward ends up being. So it's really crazy how big a buff that those things can get, but no Demon Prince yet. So we go into Beastmen turn 3, and both the big gore herd and the Minotaurs end up stupid. So they stumble forward, and this is the point I was waiting for. Minotaurs have given me a relatively easy charge. I'm going to hit them with my warriors. I don't have to worry about impacts because I'm hitting them, and I think I can dice those guys before they get to swing. And so on the rest of his turn, he's continuing to bring those Bestigors up. He's trying to cast his spell that lets him summon a Gorgon in my backfield, which could be bad. And then the Ungors come up to do some more shooting. And then during his turn, or his magic phase, he summons a Gorgon. I throw everything I've got to stop it and can't make it happen. So Gorgon appears right behind Keldrian. And the only plus side is because I am a chariot and I can move, I can get out of his front arc, but I really don't want him running crazy in my backfield, so I've got to figure out some way to deal with that. So during my turn, the warriors make the very easy charge into the Minotaurs, and that's going to be just a ridiculous amount of pain. And at the start of the turn, Keldrian did pray. He was not killed by the Temple of Skulls, so I did get the Lore of Tzeentch, but the only bonus he got was +1 ballistic skill. Woo! So I basically bring one of the units of Chosen to block the Gorgon. The other one I'm moving up to support. I actually haven't moved it in this picture yet, I don't believe. And then I get Keldrian and the chariot the hell out of his line of sight. Yeah, and here we go. So I start tossing the chariot thing. I can only hit one of the units, so I get 2 results. So I have to hit the champion of the unit that's facing the Gorgon, and he gets an extra attack. And I have to hit Keldrian himself, and I roll a 1, a 1, and a 6. Or I think is what that shows. So Keldrian almost got turned into a chaos spawn, but I chose the 7 instead. So during combat, Argus and the Moors challenges the Minotaur champion and absolutely rocks his face. I kill all but 1 wound on one of the Minotaurs before they get to strike. He swings back and kills 1 Chaos Warrior. So he breaks, is run down, and I clip the Ungors, which means I have to redo the charge from the initial point and end up where you see me there. And so, top of Beastman's turn, that Gorgon has absolutely nothing to fear from those 5 Chosen, so he goes slamming right into the front of them. And in an attempt to ruin my cool day with the Warriors, the Bestigors get a charge off on the flank of the Warriors. He originally failed the charge, but then we remembered the Idol of Gork is right there, so he gets the reroll on the charge and hit it the second time. So he's got a bunch of great weapons in my flank, but the one thing he does have that I'm super happy with is Brejik is right there against my champion of that unit, and I'm going to wreck his world. And then over here, this unit is still kind of slowly making their way around. The blocking terrain of the Idol of Gork is really preventing him from getting into anything significant, so he's just slowly moving around it. So we go into combat. The champion of the Chosen unit manages to inflict a single wound on the Gorgon. Other than that, this is the strength 4 one, so I do only 1 wound, and the Gorgon just absolutely destroys that unit. I think he kills him to a man and then has to overrun because he's frenzied, and ends up right there where he's threatening the back of my second unit of Chosen. And then the world explodes over here. Argus kills or gets into a challenge with Ungor champion just absolutely murders him. They do a lot of damage. I do manage to kill Brejic with my champion, and then the Bestigors go and kill all but, I think it's 6 or 7 of those guys. But even that, the number of wounds I did, he lost, broke, and was run down. And because Brejic died, the Ungor disappears, so he goes down as well. So I've pretty much handled, like, half of his army just disappeared in that one combat. So my turn next, I just start bringing the remaining Chosen unit and Keldrian closer this way, and I reform the Chaos Warriors to face down because I know his unit is going to have to come by here. I'm going to try and get a 2-flank attack on him. So I do my spell from the Shrine and get 2 effects, one on the Chosen Champion and one on Keldrian. The Chosen Champion was immaterial, but Keldrian rolled double 6s, and I was going to turn him into a Demon Prince, except I remembered that would then give him, basically it counts as him being killed and give the points for killing my general to my opponent, so I decided to take the other result, which was just a reroll. So we go into Beastmen turn. The Gores here attempt to charge the Chosen. They fail their charge even with the reroll attempt and end up right here setting up the perfect counterattack that I wanted. And here it happens. I succeed both charges and then move up with Keldrian so that I'm within range of to pump the champions there. And during my magic phase, I get off the bump spell and target the champions of both units, and the Khorne champion turns into a Demon Prince. So Khorne champion Demon Prince appears behind the unit, but I really don't think he's going to be super necessary. And because I had to target 3, I targeted Keldrian again, and he rolled his second straight 661 on that to turn himself into a Demon Prince, and again I chose to take the simple reroll. Though I think this is definitely showing that Tzeentch sees something in Keldrian and wants him bad. If this keeps going up when we unlock Lords, I may just make Keldrian a Demon Prince and bring him in that way. So we go into combat. I lose very, very little and just annihilate this unit, and that's the game. Brejic had escaped. Once again the old fathers had seen that his time had not yet come. Something that was both to be lamented and hated. He wished so dearly to be lifted into their realm, to follow in the steps of the great Morgul who was elevated to demonhood by the glory of Tzeentch. That was his wish, but the Changer thought long and planned longer, so Brejic would wait. As he looked over the men who he had first thought to be those of the Empire, he celebrated. He had finally found those who had found the true way. He laughed and brayed at their slaughter of his beasts. Why would he contest their claim? They merely wanted to kill for the glory of the Skullfather. As his voice echoed, he called out to their leader riding atop the altar. "Brejic welcomes you!" his body trembling with joy. "Brejic will remember you. May the Changer see your gifts, and may the Skull-Taker feel joy in the skulls you send him." And with that, the shaman ran into the woods, his laughter echoing long in the distance. So, good game for the Warriors of Chaos. Due to my victory, I was able to loot the battlefield and gained 7 gold pieces from my winning result roll. I also unlocked the Lore of Tzeentch. Very simple mission. I definitely get the feeling that my opponent softballed me, probably because he has nothing to fear from the Lore of Tzeentch. I think they're actually happy at the idea of me not playing with metal and playing with Tzeentch more often, because I really just don't think they are concerned about it at all. So maybe they've got no reason to be. Maybe it will be a detriment to me, but I like the lore. I want to play with it as well, so we'll see where that goes. So the Beastmen had another rough loss. They did not gain any gold, and their low roll for losing maintained their low morale, so they will have a -1 leadership next game as well. Definitely a rough game for the Beastmen. I think getting the final trans when I needed to and having his Minotaur stumble forward and let me kind of carry through was absolutely terrible. He really needed to hit me with both those units at once and was unable to because of the stupid, so I think it definitely worked out well, for me at any rate, not so much for him. But all in all, it was a fun game. I definitely like the Chosen. They can become kind of brutal with the altar pumping them, and they're neat for like little 5-man units to get in and cause trouble, flanking units, stuff like that. So I might experiment with them more in the future. I definitely like the War Altar, but it's very expensive at this point value, so I don't know if I will be continuing to use it. Right now, I wanted to do it this way because, for those of you who watched my last Warriors battle, the plastic thing that holds up Keldrian on his disc, because he's one of the old metal models, snapped and broke, and I'm trying to figure out some way to get him back mounted, but the original bit is just absolutely worthless. So I did this to kind of give him another another way to play, and we'll see if that works out. But hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this. It was a lot of fun for us to play. Very, very quick game. But that was kind of the thing. You saw the battle report before this was also very quick as well. But it's nice because we get multiple games fit in a couple hours time, which was very much fun. But if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I will answer them as soon as I can. And otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.